We're a UK medical device company. So waiting, there we are. So what we do is we make a technology called cold plasma. Cold plasma is it's not blood plasma, it's an energy device. So our journey, we started back 20 years ago as a spin-out from a semiconductor company. So every phone, every semiconductor chip is made using plasma. So we developed what we call cold plasma. So cold plasma is about 40 degrees. And what we did were the first clinical trials in the world to use cold plasma to treat wounds. And what we do is it's an antibacterial. So we did a number of trials, and then based in the UK, we decided to become a medical company. We got our CE mark, and we're now currently launching in the Middle East. And as a spin-out of the semiconductor company, we were raising money, and it successfully closed last year. And I would say to all the startup and founders out there, it took me 2 years. I must have contacted hundreds of investors. Just keep going. You will have bad days, but one day you will get your investor. So what is plasma? Plasma is an energized gas called the fourth state of matter. So if you apply energy to a gas, you'll get an excited state, like the aurora. That's also plasma. So this plasma has UV, reactive oxygen species, reactive nitrogen species, and they combine together to create a hole in the bacteria. So the hole in the bacteria means all types of bacteria, gram-positive, gram-negative bacteria, can be destroyed. Now, what is the problem? The problem is, for example, you have an infected diabetic foot ulcer. This infection, if it's not managed, it goes to amputation. Now, as we all know, when there's no solution to an infection, it can become catastrophic. And for example, bacteria are very clever, and they make a biofilm around them. And we also have superbugs. We have bacteria that are resistant to antibiotics. So it's very important to use alternative technologies to antibiotics and reserve antibiotics for when they're really needed. So how does it work? This is a bit of a dramatic effect. It's actually a micropore, but the point is it's a physical mode of action, so the bacteria will not develop resistance. So basically all the components together combine to kill the bacteria. So it clears infection at the source. So the plasma, the energy device, is placed on top of the wound, and with that, in our clinical trials, we showed that we could kill more bacteria than antibiotics. It's a Class 2 medical device. We have European approval. We are currently rolling out our CE mark to the Middle East and to our partners in Southeast Asia. And with the funding that we received last year, we're starting the FDA process. As some of you may know, the FDA, if there's a predicate, it's a lot easier, but there is no cold plasma device, so therefore there's no insurance code, and we have to start the de novo application. So these, sorry for the woundy photos. Some of these are the type of applications. So we go also for surgical site infections. And one area we see a lot of efficacy is in treating drive lines. For example, the HeartMate, that drive line goes into the body here, and if it gets infected, it's very hard to treat because the antibiotics don't reach it. We also see many types of leg ulcer, many types of surgical site infection, and some dermatology conditions such as actinic keratosis and acne. So these are some of the examples of diabetic foot ulcers. So again, we place the plasma right on top of the wound, and we have clinics in the UK using our technology every day, and they're preventing amputations by treating the challenging wound that often is not responding to normal therapy. This is, I mentioned, the infected drive lines. So the plasma has the advantage, it's a gas, so it'll travel down the drive line and treat the biofilm that's gathered around the drive line, and therefore the patient will go on to have the infection managed and can go on to successful heart transplant. We've done 8 clinical trials in Europe, and we've every time showing better efficacy than the standard of care. Again, so these are some of our KOLs in Europe. So what we did first, as what most startups do, we loaned our device to some of the leading doctors in Europe, and they used our device, and they presented at many conferences with credible evidence. So as I've spoken, we closed our round last year, and the main thing we're doing is obviously to develop revenue in the EU, the Middle East, and Asia using our CE mark, and we're starting the FDA process, and we're doing new product designs, and also launching in the veterinary market. The main reason to launch in the veterinary market as well is because we can get faster revenue than the medical. So this is, for example, of the new product designs we're working on, and we're using our smaller device also to treat small wounds and for the veterinary market. So this is our design. As you all know, it takes a long time. The MDR took us about 2 years. We expect FDA, because it's a new device, to take 2 years as well. But we can successfully use our proven certificates already to launch in the Middle East and countries that adopt the CE mark. Conscious of running out of time here. So this is our projection for revenue. Obviously, at the moment, we're building up our reputation in the market, creating awareness, and then the plan is in a few years' time, we will hopefully hit the 20 million revenue with FDA approval as well. Okay, thank you very much.